Mesdames, Messieurs, je tiens ce point de presse avec à mes côtés Madame Mireille Balestrasi, qui est directeur central de la police judiciaire. Un nouvel acte de terrorisme vient donc endeuiller la France avec la mort de 2 fonctionnaires de police qui avaient voué leur vie à son service. Je veux leur rendre hommage et exprimer tout d'abord une pensée émue pour leurs proches. Cette tragédie vient nous rappeler de la complexité du risque terroriste qui peut se traduire, on l'a vu l'an dernier, par des tueries de masse, mais aussi par des passages à l'acte, l'extrême violence,
specific targets set out by Daesh because of their professions through the regular calls for murder, the calls from this terrorist organization. And so I would like to underscore the tireless efforts of the entire system in the fight against terrorism. Now moving on to the facts, what I can tell you at this stage is that while there is an ongoing investigation that has only recently begun, yesterday evening, between 8 and 8:20 p.m., a police civil servant, deputy commander, head of the Brigade for Urban Safety at Muro, was assassinated through knife attacks under circumstances that remain to be specified at his domicile in a residential district. The murderous terrorist then took hostage the police officer's spouse, a young 35-year-old woman who was also working at the police commissariat in Mont-la-Jolie, and a young child of 3.5 years old, a young boy, before he assassinated by knife the young woman. It was the neighbors that sounded the alarm by calling local police and then the raid. Through negotiations with the raid, the killer said that he was a practicing Muslim who was observing Ramadan. He says that 3 weeks before that he had sworn allegiance to Amir al-Baghdadi of the Islamic State, and he also said that there was a communique from this Amir calling for the death of infidels in his area. He threatened to blow up the entire building if the police stormed in, saying that he had a surprise ready for them and looking forward to the intervention of special forces. In the end, he demanded that the police officers of the raid should take their distance from the domicile and broke off contact. At midnight, the special forces attacked the house. They were able to save the young boy under shock, but he was saved by the raid before being sent to hospital. Along with the Versailles public prosecutor, with whom I was in constant contact over the phone throughout the evening, the anti-terrorism unit of my office has opened a case regarding assassination of public officials, an attempt to assassinate a minor under the age of 15, hostage-taking, all of these crimes linked with terrorist acts as well as a terrorist plot in view of preparing one or several crimes against individuals. The investigation has been entrusted to the anti-terrorism unit under the auspices of a coordinating anti-terrorism unit with the Judicial Police of Versailles, the Subdirectorate for the Fight Against Cybercrime from the Central Unit of the Judicial Police, and of course, the Directorate General for Domestic Security. A number of inquiries have already been made and investigations that have allowed forces to conclude that to find a list of targets in the house of a number of well-known people, rappers, police officers, public officials. There were also 3 phones, 3 knives, as well as 1 bloody knife that was placed on a table. In the vehicle abandoned near the house, there was a Quran, a white jalaba, 2 books entitled Authentic Faith, and another. And as you know, there were quite a few demands by Larossi Abdallah through his Facebook account. At 8 22 p.m., he published a video with his demands lasting 12 minutes that he sent to over 100 contacts. Furthermore, he sent two tweets with his demands through a Twitter account that he opened on June 8th, 2016. Laroussi Abdallah was also identified through his fingerprints. We know he was born on March 28th in Molins, in the suburbs of Paris. Searches through his domicile did not find any explosives, but a variety of documents were found, as well as computer equipment that was seized and that are currently being examined. Laroussi Abdallah was also condemned by the Correctional Court of Paris on September 30th, 2013 to 3 years in jail, including 6 months on parole, because of his involvement in an Afghani-Pakistani plot. At the time, this included his temporary arrest up until September 30th, 2013. As a result of this, he was released directly after the court of the Correctional Court of Paris having already been held in jail. He was also proselytizing, and as a result was observed proselytizing by prison officials in prison. Once he was released, because he was still under surveillance until November 30th, 2015, he was subjected to a certain number of requirements, including regular meetings with insertion authorities. There were no incidents, aside from occasionally missing a date for a meeting, but that was justified by his night job. So there were no other issues raised during the follow-up. Furthermore, during the probationary period, he always showed his residence and his activity, his work as was required of him. Furthermore, the penitentiary services noted that he had a very smooth rhetoric regarding his previous acts and that he was very devout. Laroussi Abdallah was also the target of investigations that are currently underway based on a rogatory commission by anti-terrorism officials. This is a judicial investigation initiated by the Paris court against unknown parties in line with participation in a plot aiming to carry out terrorist acts in the Syrian area. Within that framework, several interceptions, several phone taps were ordered by judges on a variety of phone lines, including phone lines used by Laroussi Abdallah. These phone taps did not show anything that would show a preparation of an imminent violent act, and therefore could not justify an arrest and an ordered arrest by the investigating judge. There are 3 men who are under investigation, 3 men from the age of 27 to 44 that were arrested between this morning and lunchtime. Given the requirements of the ongoing investigation, I cannot say any more, since they have only recently been placed under arrest. We are, of course, going to keep you updated on the progress that we make through these arrests as well as the investigation. Thank you.
That was Paris prosecutor François Molins